So I have played a lot of Monster Hunter in my life. I started with Monster Hunter Tri on the Wii, and I probably played at least 100 hours of that game. I think I've also played Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Wii U for a bit, played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on the 3DS, put about 800 hours into Monster Hunter World on PlayStation, and then last year I returned to it to play it again on PC for roughly another 200 to 300 hours. On Nintendo Switch, I played the Monster Hunter Rise demo for, admittedly, more time than I should have, at about 50 hours. Then I played it for about 200 hours on Switch, and I've played it for maybe 50 more hours on PC. I bring all of this up to say I have played a lot of Monster Hunter. And when you play a game over a long period of time, you'll start to pick up on small little things that can be really annoying over a long period of time. This video is a list of features and improvements I'd like to see for Monster Hunter Wilds based on my playtime in the beta. If this feedback doesn't end up in the release version, I hope Capcom can at least make these changes over time to improve the play experience over the long term. Again, much of this feedback is just minor things that are big grievances over long-term play. The list of quests are covered by the category selection, making it difficult to see if any lobby or link party quests are available when there are few lobby members, and therefore only a handful of quests posted at a time. The columns of quests need to shift to the right when using the small icons for quests. You can of course solve this by using the wider list format by pressing L3. When you open up the map, the 3D map that you can interact with, you have no way to tell what direction north is. A compass on the map would greatly help with navigation and multiplayer communication. There's clearly a cardinal north intended on the map design, seeing as camps have north and south in their names, for an example. There's also a north indicator on the minimap, so a clear definition of north on the map with a compass would be very helpful. An option to always remain in the open world after completing a quest, and an option to always return to base camp / a nearby camp, rather than the current system that places you back where you started. An on-screen selectable between these three options as the hunt completes would be useful. Exactly like how it is in Monster Hunter World. When you end a quest, you have the choice to remain on an expedition, or return to the gathering hub, or return to Celiana. Invites should appear while inside the tent. When you go inside of the tent, you don't see invitations to link parties, quests, or environment links until you exit the tent. Provide a button option to immediately leave the tent, such as hitting start. And the reason is, when you go into the tent in the middle of a quest to change your loadout or to get more items, it's just nice to be able to exit it quickly, and especially the case in Monster Hunter Wilds when monsters can trample over your camps and therefore destroy the tent. Being able to get out of it quickly is important instead of having to just mash one button to get out of several menus. I would love a single button to get me immediately out of the tent. Allow tent icons for the categories such as meals, quests, palico deployment, etc. to be rearranged, much like how the start menu can be customized with widgets and the order of icons in the start menu. If multiple of the same types of monsters are nearby, pressing L3 to target the intended monster should then display an icon over the monster's head for a few seconds, or for a few seconds longer if this is already the case. Allow choice of pop-up camp destruction when trying to create a new camp at max capacity without needing to travel back to another camp first. Making the repeat trip back to the intended camp you want to create a new one at is just simply annoying. You can see in this clip, it took me roughly 3 minutes to discover a new pop-up camp, decide which one I wanted to destroy, fast travel there, talk to the cat out front, menu through all of that to have the camp destroyed, hop on the Seikret, and ride back to the new camp location. Took me about roughly 3 minutes, which yeah, that's not a long time, but that adds up. And depending on how quests are going to be designed and monster placement in the maps, and depending on how many pop-up camps you're able to have at once, we don't know yet if you can populate every single one of the pop-up camps with a camp eventually, which would make this a moot point. But if that is not the case, and we potentially have to constantly move pop-up camps unless they're just optimal placements, then this is going to be really annoying to constantly have to shuffle these around and travel to them. I think the ability to pop up the pop-up camp thing, and maybe the cat comes and talks to you and asks you, do you want to destroy another pop-up camp, and then you could choose issues, because having to make the return journey is simply annoying when you are able to place a pop-up camp somewhere else. I do see how this could be overpowered during some hunts where a pop-up camp is right next to a monster location. So maybe you can only do this when no monsters are nearby. We'll allow this during all forms of play except during a quest if that's the case, if this is too overpowered. So we do not yet fully know, based on the beta, how much the Seikret's pouch can be utilized. Alma will deposit items into it that you can retrieve, but I would like to see the ability to deposit crafting items such as herbs and blue mushrooms into the Seikret pouch with a single button. Holding square could work, then allow for crafting with those items when riding the Seikret. These items could then be automatically placed into the player chest when perhaps entering a tent or upon quest completion, or maybe per player preference. Again, we don't know. This could be a feature that comes out late game and you're able to stock a lot of items on the Seikret, so you can just be out in the field hunting constantly. But if this is not a feature, I think this could be something that would allow the player to be out in the field a lot more and just hunting back to back, which I think is the intention with this game. On the topic of the Seikret pouch, I would also like to see customization of the Seikret pouch as a part of your item loadouts. That way the player can just simply have a stock of items of their choice that they can bring along, such as extra traps or something like that. And it could also make for some more interesting preparation mechanics and of course just longer field survey sessions. I would really like to see DualSense PlayStation controllers features on PC, such as the resistive triggers on map navigation that PlayStation has. If you're unfamiliar, if you pull the trigger down like halfway, you'll get to like a little bit of resistance in it, and then if you finish pulling on the trigger, you'll get a click. And when you click with the trigger, the map will zoom in all the way, which is a cool little bit of feedback to just easily pop the map in and out, which is not as smooth without that feature of the resistive triggers. And it was something I liked when I tried the game out on PlayStation. Space Marine 2 supported these PlayStation controller features on PC, so therefore it is possible, and I would love to see them implemented into Monster Hunter Wilds. This one's kind of minor, but I would love some kind of continue option that will automatically load your last used character, avoiding the need to go to the character select each boot. Allow friends to join a private lobby without needing to type in lobby codes, or allow an option for the host to set a preference. Joining through platforms such as right-clicking on Steam Friends, Discord servers, or joining over PSN friends list is a very helpful feature for just getting in and joining your friends quickly. At the very least, allow for the lobby code to be copy-pasted on PC, such as how it is possible to copy-paste in Monster Hunter World. All players in Environment Link should be able to post a quest, not just the host, unless this is a story mode related restriction. If so, players should be able to post quests that the host is capable of posting themselves. If a player that is not the host of the environment link starts their own hunt on a separate monster from that which the host is currently fighting against, pressing L3 will target the host monster, not allowing you to retarget the monster you were intending to engage. Also on that note, if you're not the environment link host, you're not able to pin monsters from the environment overview menu. You can do it by manually pinning the monster on the map, which is slightly more cumbersome, and I would love to see that minor fix changed. Allow the player to pin their fellow hunters on the map, therefore allowing the Seikret to follow other players. This was possible with Raider Riding and Iceborne. Prevent the player from automatically departing when choosing to stand by when there's only one player in the quest. Require choosing the option to depart in this case. This is helpful as a player may want to ready up while waiting for others to join. Continue to allow automatic departing when 2 or more players are in the quest and on standby. When using manual Seikret control, pressing up D-pad doesn't always place the Seikret in follow mode when it picks the player up. If up D-pad was to always place the player in follow mode, down D-pad can call the Seikret to pick you up and stand idle without input. An on-screen D-pad icon of Seikret calling options would also be nice, perhaps right next to the item selection icon, similar to where Monster Hunter Rise places its D-pad interaction controls. Devastating attacks that flash red during the wind-up from a monster can be kind of confusing for wounded parts, making me think that the monsters open up for a focus attack with R1. I'd love to see some kind of change to the coloration indication, or to make that a little bit more distinct from just a wound that's glowing red. Adding a touch of yellow to this indication with some kind of sparkling effect maybe would greatly help with color differentiation. I somewhat think this might be intentional, as sometimes monsters will finish a big attack and then they leave themselves open for a focus attack. I really like offset attacks. They are dope. However, a flash on the weapon during the window of opportunity for an offset attack slash a counter move would be helpful just for understanding the timing. I don't think it needs to be overly visual. Just something small like a little sparkle on the end of it would be helpful, or maybe it can turn a certain color for a second. Some kind of indication for when you can do an offset attack would be really helpful, or when the hitbox is active. I love the new on-screen notifications for events such as vine traps, pitfall traps, shock traps, or the monster falling asleep. This is really helpful to prevent players from accidentally waking the monster up, of course. I would love to see some kind of sound, maybe something similar to the signaling sound when something significant like a monster falling asleep happens, just for that extra little bit of, hey, nobody touch it, because everybody is definitely mad when they're all going to put their bombs down and one guy goes to just hit it. Happens all the time. Well, this wraps up the list of feedback that I have from playing the beta. I'm very, very excited for this game. Please share this video and get the information to Capcom, as I think these would make the game way better. I'm stoked for Monster Hunter, and I hope you are too. Thanks for watching.